Alrighty guys, hello and welcome back to the show. So today, to I guess celebrate my comeback, we have a pretty epic game coming your way. That's going to be on map gen 20 by 20, 5 versus 5, pretty high level players in this game. And if you're curious where I've been for the last, I guess it's 6 months, 6.5 months, something like that. I'll talk about that at the end of the cast, but I don't want to dilute the cast with anything that isn't all about the cast. So that's all I'm going to say on it for now. If you're curious, then stay tuned to the end. Let's go ahead and introduce our players. So call this team 1 up at the top, team 2 down at the bottom. Starting with the northernmost position, we have Mimics, who is the highest rated player on team 1, going Aeon, opening first land, second air. Unfortunately, he is even though he's the highest rated player, he's made a very poor choice with factions, in my opinion. But let's not dwell on that and move on to player number 2, which is Blissful Noob in what I guess would be the rear air position, and he's going first air as the Cybran. Excellent faction choice in my opinion. To his southwest, we've got Snagglefox, who's going Seraphim, opening first land, undecided what he's going to be going second. Down to the southeast, we have Mr. Death, who's going to be bringing all sorts of deathliness into this game. I'm a little rusty, so my I don't know, analogy's probably going to fall apart, but he's going Cybran, opening first land. Excellent choice of faction once again. And lastly, to the northeast, we've got Stuxnet here for team number 1. He's going UEF, opening first land. Now, shifting to team number 2, starting with the northernmost player, we have Spiky Noob, who is a great guy, good caster too. Try and catch him on FAF Live if he's ever casting stuff, but he's going UEF, opening first land, and you can see the looks of determination that are on this man's face. He is spiky. He is a noob. He is Spiky Noob. Let's move down to the south. In the, I believe, rear guard air position, yes, we have Jiraj, who's going Seraphim, and he's open first land there in the background. Whoops, got a cliff. But looks like he's going second air, getting some adjacency there with the hydrocarbon power plant. How very sensible. To the southwest, we have got Sorcery, who's also going Seraphim, going to be whipping up some of that lightning and magical goodness coming from the alien race here to grace us with FAF, and he's going first land. As of yet undecided, but he's got a ton of power that is queued up. Next we have got, where is he? There he is. We have Verinicek, who's going Cybran. Best faction choice that you can possibly make building his mass extractor right now. And he's going first and second land. And last but not least, we have got the Alpha going Cybran first, second, and third land. So we have a couple of mech marines, I believe. Yeah, that's a mech marine out from Stuxnet, causing some issues. He's got a Snoop in tow. The Snoop is going to run interference, but unfortunately that mech marine is going to meet a hasty end at the hands of the Mantis there from the Alpha. And we got another raiding party here out from Stuxnet, who is going all in on the raids. It's got a Striker as well as a Snoop in tow. Appears to be going for this little 4-mex expansion here, trying to get taken by the Alpha. Alpha does have a Mantis here, so as long as he's got some decent micros, should be fine. And Stux is actually going to just stand there and look menacing. And that is a Striker. Very menacing looking tank. If you can kill that engineer, it might be worth it. There you go. Focuses on the engineer. Now he goes to the mole. Focuses back on the engineer. Can't figure out how to make up his mind, but that engineer is going to go down before he finishes all of the mexes. Did get 3 though, so I mean the Alpha is not going to be too terribly unhappy about that. Sounds like I'm hearing another mech marine somewhere, but I'm not seeing any sort of engagement anywhere else. Stux has moved forward to secure his forward mexes. Got a lot of land production here. It's going to be 5 Tech 1 land factories and a 6th queued up from his comm. So land all day there for Stux. His buddy down here, Mr. Death, also going pretty heavy in the land game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 land factories queued up for him. And Snagglefox also getting some forward manufacturing up on the 3 land factories there up forward. And Spiky going a little lighter, only got 2 land factories up right now, and no additional ones queued for the Alpha. Got 3 in his base, and then an air factory. So again, a little lighter on the Tech 1 spam coming out from team number 2. And we'll see the same here from Verinicek, who's actually almost to Tech 2 land at 5 minutes into the game, so that is a pretty quick Tech 2 land rush. All Tech 1 mexes, but he's getting his first Tech 2 mex getting up right now, so getting some rhinos out could catch team number 1 by surprise, as for the first 10 minutes you usually feel relatively safe with your comm and overcharge, and you can get some gun upgrades and things like that, but we haven't even seen any gun upgrades yet coming out of team 1. So Tech 2, as long as he can actually put units out into the field, might come as a little bit of a surprise. Meanwhile, down at the south, Sorcery does not look like he wants to expand very much at all, and is instead leaving these mexes out here for Verinicek, and actually Snagglefox doing a similar thing, leaving those mexes there for Mr. Death to go ahead and grab. So I'm guessing that both Snagglefox and Sorcery are going to be looking to go for more of that second air player kind of vibe, as we got our first comm on comm action here. Stux and the Alpha. And you know what you would expect from an Alpha is he usually likes to be on top, but in this case the Alpha is actually on bottom, but he is a power bottom there and is absolutely taking it to Stux, as Stux is running away, tail tucked between his legs, or tail Stux between his legs, trying to get a Tech 1 PD up to blunt this attack, but the Alpha might be able to bag himself a kill here. Stuxnet drops into the yellow, needs to commit. We are starting to see Tech 1 spam. We got a little bit more down here for Mr. Death. Stux bringing in some of his tanks to save the day here, and the Alpha now possibly overextending. He's run out of Tech 1 spam here, and the spam there from Stux gonna stem the tide of any reinforcements. He could definitely go for Stux here though. Could just control K if he wanted to and just make it a mutual. But that Tech 1 PD as well as the Tech 1 spam coming in, and now we're starting to see Mr. Death start to move some of his forces up here, and now it's the Alpha who's in trouble. Missed his opportunity to go for a mutual there. And Alpha is not looking super healthy. Does not have any fort reinforcements anywhere close. And this is, I believe, our first ejection of the game as the Alpha drops down to 500 HP. He is out of there. So I guess being the power bottom didn't really work out for the Alpha there. But Mimics also pushing up towards the north. He's got himself a bunch of little bands of Aurora tanks that are just bumping around here. Spiky does have a decent Tech 1 land force here to respond. Needs to be careful though of walking those in range of the comm as well as the Aurora fire. Gonna potentially unnecessarily lose some tanks there, as Mimic's just gonna mosey himself on back. Spiky does have a gun upgrade though, so Mimics does need to be careful, as Spiky in range now on the gun upgrade. So we'll see if Spiky wants to pressure this. I'm not sure it would be advisable. I don't think Spiky has the units back behind him that he needs to put a whole hell of a lot of pressure there on Mimics, but he seems to be still going for it. One of the really nice things about the Zeph amp on the UEF gun commander is they can one-shot Auroras. So these Auroras basically turn into... Can they one-shot? Oh, I don't think they can one-shot. Nope, they can definitely one-shot still. Never mind. Yeah, as I was saying, UEF Guncom can one-shot Auroras, so it basically turns Auroras into labs. Makes it very efficient to take those little Aeon buggers out. Gun speed and range on the way there for Snagglefox. Stealth on the way for Mr. Death after having gotten his own gun upgrade. Let's see where Verinicek is. Verinicek still working with that bog standard vanilla bean commander. And his buddy down here, Sorcery, dealing with a little bit of an infestation of his own, but also working with a vanilla commander down on the southern side of the map. So Mr. Death and Snagglefox looking to become partners in crime there. which is apparently what every sorority sister wants all of their friends to be, is their partner in crime. Can we talk about like how weird that is, as we have gun range coming in there for mimics? I'm sure gun speed is queued up. Got an engineer assisting. Can we talk about how weird that every sorority girl wants to become a criminal with all of her sorority sisters? She's like, oh, you're my partner in crime. Just scroll Instagram for like 2 seconds, and you'll see everybody wanting to have a partner in crime and a friend. Little mantis infestation going to be cleaned up. We're actually seeing the first Tech 2 units start to come out there for, and that's actually, who is that? Jiraj. That's actually not Verinicek, who I initially thought. So Jiraj getting some Tech 2 out of his own. He's also inherited the Alpha's base. Now we're starting to see the first push here from, well, not the first push, but the first push for Mr. Death, Dr. Doom. I can't come up with any more synonyms there. But he's pushing with his comm. Snagglefox in tow, who's also picked up a Tech 2 upgrade, so might be looking to push, take this 4-mex expansion, set up a little fire base here, and just become a royal nuisance. And Shield actually on the way there for Mimics up north. Got double gun. Spiky Noob now getting Tech 2 as well. So these guys are kind of on a standoff here. But you got to give the advantage here to Mimics, as Spiky is missing a couple of mexes up here, whereas Mimics has pretty much secured all of his expansions. So looking like Team 1 getting more out of the map as it stands right now, as Verinicek's other expansion down here going to fall from a little raid there for Stux. And Verinicek with that vanilla commander is now running for his life. But luckily, Mr. Death, luckily for Verinicek, Mr. Death's comm is not in an ideal position right now. So the Tech 1 of Verinicek with the commander going to be able to deal with all of Stuxnet's Tech 1. And Mr. Death actually sweeping his Tech 1 down here to the south, putting some pressure here on Sorcery. Luckily, Sorcery has this wall here, so not going to be capped immediately there. I'm trying to get another wall, but there is a gap down here that if Mr. Death wanted to exploit, he could, but I'm not sure he knows that that's there, or he just assumes that it's been walled. Okay, so he probably just assumes that it has been walled, even though it actually hasn't, but it's okay. We see everything up here in the driver's seat. And that is a strat now out on Mimics, who luckily has a shield. So Tech 3 air out in a pretty timely, that is a pretty quick strat at 12 minutes there from Jiraj. Mimics does have flak in the area and does have his shield, so going to take a while for one strat to do any sort of real damage. I'm actually not sure where the strat even went. Okay, strat actually peeled off and is going to be doing some eco damage. We do have an ASF there now out for Blissful Noob, as that Syntha does a nice little juke, goes ahead and just hits the brakes and lets him fly right by. And bag himself another couple of Tech 2 mexes here and some P-gens, but that should be it for that strat. ASF show up just a little bit too late there for Jiraj, but Jiraj looking very commanding in the air right now with all of his ASF. As Mr. Death down at the southern side, got a lot of things going on, but Verinicek now at Tech 3. He has just gone for a full Tech 3 rush. Bricks now out. Mr. Death, do you have overcharge? Mr. Death does have overcharge and is getting some power overflow, so should be able to deal with the bricks, but actually just clicks all of his Tech 1 onto Verinicek here. He's got a lot of artillery back here. The artillery are what are going to be doing a lot of the damage, as Verinicek is rooted to the spot right now. Verinicek looking, well, it looks like he's going to make it here. 3,500 HP, actually 2,000 HP. Another volley of artillery comes in. 1,400. Is Verinicek dead here? Dude, cancel your upgrade. Just move. What the? 300 HP. Another round of artillery coming in, and Mr. Death cleans up Verinicek, who had Tech 3. That is not That's not a player you want to lose. Although it is full share, so it's not like the tech. It's not like the tech is lost. But why would you not just cancel the upgrade, man? Just cancel the upgrade and move. Meanwhile, Strat now on Mr. Death, who is not looking super healthy here at 6,500 HP, and good amount of tech here back behind him. Although Snagglefox does have the Ilshivas out, gun speed and range. Coming in now for Sorcery. Kind of a panic upgrade if you ask me, as the Ilshiva is now coming in. Does Sorcery have overcharge to be able to deal with these? He does not. He does have a Tech 1 PD, as Snagglefox is juking. We have a ton of gunships now in from Jiraj, using that air advantage, and Mr. Death trying to get some Tech 1 AA up. Strat still doing its job. Meanwhile down here, Sorcery getting absolutely pelted by these Ilshivas, and there are no ASF no ASF of any numbers anywhere near. Mr. Death is going to go down. Snagglefox going to go down as well. Gets picked off by the Strat, even though he wasn't in calm exploding range. Sorcery goes down to the Ilshivas, and it's a bloodbath there in the southern side of the map. So that leaves Jiraj and Spiky as the only players left in this game. So looks like Spiky's going to take over this base, and Jiraj going to take the 3 middle bases. And on the northern side, we have Stux, Blissful Noob, and Mimics left as our representatives for team number 1. Spiky is at Tech 3 though, does have some Titans out, is starting to try and pressure Mimics as much as he can. That comm is pretty impervious though. I'm sure Mimics has overcharge and he has shield, so it's going to take a lot of Titans to just brute force him down with land. Okay, I can take a breath now. Gunships doing gunship things down here. This lack of air, or the control of air there from Jiraj, probably assisted by the early death from the Alpha, probably gave Jiraj a little bit of extra eco that he needed to get some. He's actually working off of 1 Tech 3 air factory. And now he's got 2. He's got another one down here as well there from Sorcery. But the missing air control from team number 1 is about to cost them another Mex expansion. ASF, this time from Blissful Noob, able to respond, and it doesn't look like Jiraj's ASF are really on the ball, although it doesn't look like Blissful's are either, as they just pass each other by in the night. Titans, meanwhile, up here, starting to raid some Tech 2 Mexes. We do have Harbs now out for Mimics, although Mimics is having to play both sides of the map. Actually, Spiky just gave over the entire base here to Jiraj. So Jiraj running just about everything whenever it comes to team number 2 here. Spiky only keeping his original base and looking to, I guess, focus entirely on Mimics. Try and deal with Mimics as much as he can. Okay, let's talk about eco. Team 1, they're winning. There we go. We talked about eco. No, I'm just kidding. So total reclaim number is 26,000 and 19,000, which adds up. Team number 1 has gained a good amount of territory, won a lot of pretty important battles, especially down here. And I think that they had reclaim engineers following to scoop up all of that lovely, lovely mass. Meanwhile, up north, Spiky starting to put some decent pressure here on Mimics. We talked about how Mimics had kind of secured all the Mexes up here at the north. That is no longer the case, as these Titans now starting to take down another Tech 2 Mex. Not sure if all of these were Tech 2. I think that's a Tech 2 wreck. Looks like a Tech 2 wreck for me. Spiky got that queued up as well, so Spiky looking to not only inhibit Mimics's. I feel like that's a tongue twister. Inhibit. Try saying that 5 times. Try saying that 5 times fast. Inhibit Mimics. I can't. Inhibit, mimic. Yeah, I can't do it. Anyway, Spiky not only trying to shut Mimics down from being able to get mass, but also looking to secure these mexes there for himself. He's got another engineer down here, although that guy looks like he's about to die a very, very quick and painful death from a Tech 3 artillery. Is that right? Yeah, Serenity. Alright, Serenity misses. But I'll tell you, as a civilian, that dude has balls of steel. Now, down here at the south, gunships are still doing a lot of work here for Jiraj. Blunting another Tech 2 push. And that's going to be mass left on Jiraj's doorstep here. I don't see a huge amount of reclaim engineers. We do have some engineers down here that would be good for reclaim, but don't see a whole lot of reclaim engineer production. ASF now dispatched to shut down the gunships as much as possible. Jiraj now scrambles his own ASF to intercept. So really, it's coming down to Team 2 kind of poking and prodding at different areas. We got 2 bricks here trying to do that. We got gunships that are getting shot down by flak down here. So they're kind of trying to spread Mimics out, make him look at a lot of different points in the map, maybe distract him a little bit. I doubt that's actually what they're thinking. It's what I'm looking at, but I don't know. Maybe they are. Or maybe Jiraj is thinking like, hey, we need to spread Mimics out, make him look at a lot of different areas of the map. Mimics has got either a bad rally point here or a bad raid, as these loyalists going to run into a couple of different bricks and, you know, bang their head against a brick wall. So many different good memes that you can make for bricks. What's the song? She's a brick. Na-na-na. House. Na-na-na. Anyway, tactical missile. Now coming in for Spiky Noob. 50% of the way there. TMD in Mimics' base? Question mark. Doesn't look like any. Although I've missed things before. I'm not really seeing any TMD here from Mimics' main base. These are look to be all Tech 2 mexes. We got first one upgrading to Tech 3, so that'd be a good one for Spiky to take out if he gets lucky. But that upgrade is now done. Spiky has the tactical missile launcher backpack of doom. And Jiraj has now reclaimed the south for Gondor. It needs to build those mexes though. And Mimics looking like he's rethinking a little Tech 3 raid here. And Jiraj probably should have rethought this Tech 3 raid, as he runs into several Ilshivas, some bricks, some Othams, and Lions and Tigers, oh my. Bricks are taking a while to bring down though, and Ilshiva's actually walked out of range, so Mimic's going to take more losses here than he probably thought he would, and probably should have, to be fair. But still be able to knock it all down. As we got another raid here from Jiraj. So Jiraj really just spreading Mimics out on the map with Tech 3 brick raids. Looking pretty good while he's doing it, too. He's taking out factories, taking out forward manufacturing, starting to force Mimics to play more defensively instead of offensively. He's even got a raid down here dealing with this little 4-mex expansion. I mean, they're all Tech 1 mexes, so it's not the end of the world, but, you know, it's still trying to spread Mimics' APM as thin as possible. Because he's also the one that's got to deal with Spiky up here, who is, yeah, they're Team 2's highest rated player. So Mimic's going for mass Tech 2 PD now to try and deal with the bricks. Only thing I wish Jiraj was doing, okay, now he's starting to do it, is grab all the reclaim that all these raids have left behind. Let's check in on, we're about 22 minutes into the game. We'll check for experimentals, late game stuff, that kind of thing. So mostly just all Tech 3 manufacturing there for Spiky. There we go. Actually, we got our first experimental that I've seen so far. So we got a chicken now under construction for Jiraj. And up in the north, as these bricks are absolutely wrecking shop here in, I believe this was Mr. Death's old base. Yeah, this is the only problem with Cyber Tech 2 PD, is they don't really do that much damage. These bricks kind of shrugging it off, taking out these mexes. Tech 1 bombers as well as gunships being deployed to put a stop to them. And it doesn't look like Jiraj has really any interest in protecting these bricks. He's going to salute them for their hard work and let them go. But, I mean, being real, they did pretty good work. Took out a lot of stuff there. And they're still going. As we've got, it's a Tech 3 power generator. That looked like a chicken there for a second there for Mimics. You're gonna bag another Tech 2 mechs. These bricks are doing the Lord's work here. There for Jiraj. And they will finally go down, as they have left a trail of waste in their path. Alright, so we just saw the notification there. That was Jiraj's chicken getting done. Spiky was apparently working on an experimental somewhere else. Did I just completely miss it? Where was Spiky's experimental? Or maybe that was... Okay, that was Jiraj giving the chicken over to Spiky. Gotcha. Alright. So, chicken now going to Spiky's side. We're going to check up on that in a minute. Mimics doesn't look like he has any experimentals. Blissful getting an air grid situated. And then Mimics down on the southern side. I'm not seeing any experimentals. Stux has been very quiet. Building some factories up here. Maybe to put some pressure here on Spiky. Not quite sure what the thought process is there. But I think these are... Oh, these are Tech 3 factories. Okay, so gonna start pushing some Tech 3 units out. I feel like that's a pretty forward place, though, to put Tech 3 units. Especially whenever this is in range of a Clink Hammer, I believe. I just saw, yep, there's a Tech 2 artillery here for Spiky as well, trying to set up a little exclusion zone. We've got another raid. Man, Jiraj is just printing bricks. And this time, Mimics does not have enough Tech 3 units here to deal with this. Gunships are going to come in to help, though. So we'll see if Jiraj actually decides that this number... Okay, so it looks like he does think that that number of bricks is worth saving. And is going to go in and kill off these gunships as well as the Tech 1 bombers. We'll see what Blissful Noob thinks. Blissful Noob wants to engage air, as Mimics also has Tech 3 air here. And Mimics is going to engage with a lot fewer ASF than Jiraj has. And, yep, Mimics is going to lose his Air Force. Alright, well, that was a good effort. Mimics now beginning to despair. Which I don't really get. Like, you took a really bad air fight. You could see how many ASF there were. And you went in with a tenth of those ASF. Not making fun of him, but I've done way stupider things, so just let that be known. Yeah, these little brick raids. We got another group of bricks. How many Tech 3 factories do we have here? Okay, we got a lot. Quite a few. One of them heavily assisted. Or not heavily assisted, but assisted. So yeah, it's leading to a lot of problems there. Did I miss the chicken already? Where's the chicken? No, I have not missed the chicken. Okay. Whenever you haven't cast for a really long time, you're like, did I miss anything? And I know I'm missing stuff. Like, bricks are going to die over here. But Spiky's walking forward with his comm and a chicken. So, we're going to see what kind of chicken dinner Spiky wants to put together here. As he throws his chicken into, well, a not very well preheated oven here. Because there's, like, no defenses. So, chicken is just going to absolutely roll over this. There is a good Tech 3 contingent here from Mimics. There is actually a Ravager. I missed the Ravager. Mimics pulling all available military assets to deal with this experimental assault bot. Spiky with some Percivals in tow as well. Not a whole lot. Stux has a couple of Percivals as well up in the north. But I believe that was Stux's Tech 3 manufacturing. Which it does seem like might not have been the best idea to put forward. And bricks are dying to gunships over here on the mini-map. I'll make that a little bigger so that y'all can see what I'm missing. Since we record in 2K, we do have a lot of real estate to work with here. Alright, chicken making its way downtown. Bagging a few Tech 3 units on the way. Percival's in tow, although this is really just, you know, a push of the chicken here. There's not really a whole lot of support close by. Spiky looks like he's bringing it up, but it's still pretty far away. Mass Tech 1 bomber spam now out from Blissful. Trying to deal with that. Bricks actually look like they're making progress here. So on the mini-map, Jiraj has scared off the gunships there for Mimics. Mimics also looking like he's going to lose this GC. I don't know if that's the best thing to focus on. Might want to focus on all the units that are surrounding your experimental first. And yeah, he starts to pull it back. Air support coming in from Jiraj to deal with the bombers. And now we got an air engagement here as Blissful's ASF were close by. Stealth enabled and pounced. Blissful getting some pretty good turns here on Jiraj. Jiraj with the numbers though. That wasn't a great turn there for Blissful. Yep, and looks like Blissful gonna lose that air engagement. But Spiky looking like he's gonna lose his chicken as he actually turns around and walks it in. Try to get as much value out of the lightning storm as possible. And it's looking like the Mimics was able to retreat before the lightning storm was able to do too terribly much damage. Alright, 30 minutes into the game, first experimental has gone down. This GC did survive, so still under construction there for Mimics. And I'm not really seeing other mass experimental construction here. Stux appears to be going for a mass fab farm with factories instead of power generators. I don't know if he only has one Tech 3 P-Gen. I don't think he has the power to be able to run that without overflow. Although Blissful is probably overflowing a lot. Yeah, he's overflowing 30,000. No, he's overflowing 2,000. That's the overflow rate. That's not the, yeah, okay. Either way, Stux is probably going to need more power there. Mimics now completes that GC that we just talked about. And down in the south, what kind of experimentals do we have? We have another chicken being worked on by Jiraj here at the front. Second chicken down at the back near his air grid, which he is now expanding more aggressively. Blissful still continuing to work on his air grid. Although Jiraj probably feeling a little bit more in control as far as air goes, as he's won the last couple air engagements. So important though to stay scouting and make sure that you know, you don't let that go to waste. Jiraj now completes that forward chicken. And it looks like a bunch of snipers are on the menu for that bad boy as he starts making his way to the west. Jiraj completes his second experimental unit. So got two chickens now. First experimental push, you know, wasn't terrible, wasn't great. Didn't I mean, it did stuff, but it didn't do probably as much as Spiky wanted it to. And now Spiky is going to have to tuck tail and run here as Galactic Colossus now bearing down on his forward position. Only a couple of triads here to stop it. So Galactic Colossus with the shields and everything should be able to shrug that off pretty easily. And Spiky thinking about making a stand here. You have snipers in the background as well as redeemers, so good kind of all-around coverage here for this GC, although this GC was damaged, so it never healed up to full. That was a nice little TML shot. I don't know if y'all saw it on the GC, but it looks like Spiky led the GC a little bit with that shot. It was a good shot. And a whole snipe attempt here actually from Blissful. Gonna run afoul of some ASF. Meanwhile, Blissful's ASF all the way on the other side of the map. That's gonna be a lot of Corsairs and Strats going down. As Blissful's like, rip, didn't see those. Yep, that can happen. Especially whenever it's Cybran and they have like stealth and everything. Alright, Mimics now completes another of what I'm going to assume is a GC. Is that back here in his main base? Yep. And he's got a whole line of those bad boys all ready and raring to go. Chicken about to make landfall here, or base fall, I guess. Got a ton of bricks in tow. There are a lot of sniper bots here, though, for Mimics. How many? 24 snipers here for Mimics. That is quite a few. Just needs to keep them moving, keep them out of range. Well, there's less of them now. Gunship's also now coming in on the Chicken. But Spiky's comm looking almost like it was in danger there. As Spiky's Chicken now exchanging blows with that GC is going to bring it down, but the Chicken's going to go down as well. But I think Mimics gets the slightly better end of that exchange. The Chicken, meanwhile, down here for Jirage, about to run into a bunch of Percivals here from Stux. As they let loose the gun that the Chicken would probably like to be using on those Percivals. Cannot swivel around that way. So, looks like Jirage going to back the Chicken up and send the bricks in instead. Although, I think those bricks probably going to go down against that many Percivals, lightning tanks, and other things. As well as this whole band of sniper bots that are just sitting up there in the hills, picking off these bricks from afar. So, you know, this is all great. I feel like Jirage, well, he's starting to do it a little better. He's got this max expansion, he's got this max expansion fully capped, but is taking back territory that was lost. Though meanwhile, Mimics is kind of taking back lost territory of his own here. As now we have a Chicken and a Fat Boy now out for Spiky, up against the Galactic Colossus up here for Mimics. Mimics with a ton of gunships too, though. Chicken gonna go down in the south. Sniper bot's gonna clean up the last of the bricks there for Jirage. Okay, 35 minutes into the game. 4 bases for Jirage, 1 base for Spiky, and then 3 bases for Mimics, and we got Stux and Blissful at 1 base apiece. And down here in Jirageville, getting a lot of Tech 2 power up. Okay, I think he accidentally built Tech 2 power, but he's starting to get Tech 3 power now. So, it might be air grid, might be artillery here. I'm not 100% sure what his plan is, but he's getting a hell of a lot of power for some reason. More Chickens and experimentals on the way. Mimics finishes another GC, I'm going to assume. Spiky either inherits or finishes another Fat Boy. Looks like he inherited another chicken. Spiky's Fat Boy make it? Spiky's Fat Boy did make it. So that's going to be 2 chickens and a rather obese child going up against a GC, 2 GCs there for mimics and gunships and a lot of Tech 3. So Spiky seems to be going all in on this experimental game, a lot less on the supporting units. Going for quantity over quality. Which is definitely not the American way. I mean, we have Golden Corral here in America, which is definitely quantity over quality. It's probably the best example of quantity over quality that you'll ever see. Yeah, a little bit of a quieter point in the game as the Fat Boy banging down the front door. We've got Jiraj doing same thing he's been doing for the last 15 minutes or so down here with the bricks. But here we go. Gunship's now making a move. We do have some Cougars in the mix, and it looks like Spiky has been gifted a small contingent of ASF that are just absolutely going to wipe the floor with those gunships. As the chickens do open fire, but quickly turn tail and run. Fat Boy laying down covering artillery fire during the retreat. It's one of the things that makes it so damn hard to push into a Fat Boy, especially multiple of them, as they can run and gun really, really well. They don't do a ton of damage, or they do, I mean, they do a lot of damage, but they don't do the most damage of any of the experimental units, but they can do that damage for a long time, at long range, and move while doing it. Third GC now showing up for mimics. From an eco perspective, Team 1 are up about 200,000 mass, which makes sense as Jiraj has done a good job of like attacking this area, but as you can see, he's struggling to hold it as he's fighting up both Stux's massive amount of Percivals here and Mimics pushing with these Tech 3 units as well. So Mimics playing kind of all over the map here, which makes sense because he is literally all over the map, I guess. Alright, it looks like the GCs now starting to toy with the idea of pushing. Got a frog in my throat there for a second. I can't speak. I haven't lubricated the vocal cords well in a while, even though almost all I do in my day job is present. But Fat Boy in retreat, 2 chickens in retreat as well. Mimics out for blood here. Spiky playing real fast and loose with his comm here. Alright, 3 Galactic Colossus, 2 chicken, and an obese child walked into a bar. Finish the joke. So look at the beautiful lights. As 1 chicken goes down, 1 GC goes down. ASF and interceptors. Okay, fly overhead. GCs now start to pivot to the west. As the chicken in hot pursuit, we got a Ravager there helping out, but the Ravager just now going down. Trying to get better at the cinematic shots, as next GC going to go down here. Ion Storm actually cleaning up a lot of Tech 3 units here. Percival's now coming in from Stux to finish the job. Chicken going in to give the GC a little bit of a hug here. That chicken's going to go down, so 1 GC still remaining. Good, well, I was going to say a good amount, but some Tech 3 units still remaining. You have Ravagers being thrown up, as well as Triads here from Spiky in the background. And I think this push is going to start petering out here, though. There from Mimics. As I'm starting to see artillery fire, so that's not great. Although we almost have a Yolona done here for Jiraj. That's what he's been doing with the mass. The artillery coming out of Blissful, I believe. It looked like Cybern artillery. I might be blind. Okay, there it is. Yep, so do have an artillery installation set up there from Blissful. Do they know about the Yolona? Yes, they do. YOLO. You only live once. Although Jiraj now has lost his entire air grid due to the artillery and is continuing to lose more units. I think Jiraj has some sort of like eco manager mod, something like that. But the YOLO is now done. What kind of SMDs do we have here? Stux has a singular anti-nuke loaded. Blissful has one loaded as well, getting assisted. Mimics has 2 loaded in his tube. Okay, well, that one is going to get shot down. It's going for Mimics' base. Probably looking to clean up the artillery. And then we have another SMD here with 2. So, unless team number 1 starts building a lot more SMDs, they're going to burn through their anti-nukes here really, really quickly. I think they realize that as Mimics has his own Fat Boy on the front line. I think he's trying to get a push together here, but not the easiest thing to do in the world to push into Fat Boys and Ravagers. So that first nuke did get shot down. We now have 1 SMD, or 1 loaded anti-nuke in the chamber as Jiraj fires another round. I don't know what Blissful does here. It looks like everybody is realizing that the YOLO is done as the short interval between nuclear weapons launch alerts has now made itself known. Stock's now running, thinking that maybe the YOLO is going for him. And I think Mimics is probably wishing, Mimics and Blissful are probably wishing that the YOLO is going for him as well. Just as he gets the second artillery unit online as well, that YOLO is probably going to wipe Blissful's base here off the map. And maybe his comm too. His comm is right there. Okay, didn't kill the comm. It's close, but that was devastating. That took out pretty much all of Blissful's production. He has 2 Tech 3 air factories left. I think it got his HQ as well, as another nuke now on its way, this time for Mimics' southern base. Team 1 now in trouble here at 42 minutes in. That was a quick Yolona, although he does have 4 bases, so it kind of makes sense. Mimics going for some semi-desperation pushes here, I think, as we've got a lot of chickens walking in now to Jiraj's base. Percival's now getting clicked. Jiraj has his hands full. Mimics able to deflect that first nuke from the YOLO. As point defense and chickens and bricks getting deployed to stop this Percival push. On the southern side, we have a lot of sniper bots as well pushing in with a chicken there from Jiraj. We've seen a lot of chicken, a lot of grilled chicken. Love me some chicken. Actually, I prefer smoked chicken over grilled, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. I guess if you're doing it with electricity, it kind of turns into grilled chicken or something like that. I could go off on a really long tangent about how somebody cooked a steak with only electricity. Although I guess it wasn't a really long tangent because that was pretty much it. Percival's now starting to do some damage here. There is another chicken out now that should be able to minimize the damage here from the Percivals. That along with the point defense. Mimics now making what I think is another push, gearing up for another push here, but he's about to lose this base as well. As the YOLO just has the most beautiful explosion of all time, and it seems like we're going to be seeing a lot of YOLO explosions here. Alright, Fat Boy for Spiky Noob in retreat. Got 2 GCs and a Fat Boy here for Mimics. A lot of mass here that Spiky is just fearlessly grabbing with his engineers. And then it looks like we got Telly on the way there for Blissful. So Blissful, thinking that his use has now come to an end, is going for a teleport snipe. Probably on the YOLO that has a lot of Tech 2 PD around it. Jiraj not taking any chances with that. The Fat Boy there for Spiky is in retreat. Spiky looks like he has his own missile launcher here. I don't know if he ever fired that, or if he did, I might have missed it. He probably did, and I probably missed it. It's another YOLO coming out. Get real used to hearing that sound. And we've just got absolutely shitloads of mass getting deposited here. As Mimics, I think, going for desperation pushes here, pushing into chickens and point defense. Doesn't look like he's really organizing his units very well, so they're kind of trickling in one by one to meet a hasty end and depositing a ton of mass here. Well in the neighborhood of 200,000 plus on the screen right here for Jiraj to fire up these factories, get some Tech 1 engineers out, and just start slurping all that stuff up. Although Spiky's base not looking super healthy. Looks like this Fat Boy gonna go down. He's trying to get some Ravagers up down here on the south. That's gonna help. This next YOLO nuke, though, looking like it's gonna be used in a point defense fashion. Just collateral damage on Spiky's base here. Oh, Sorcery said the same thing. That's funny. Alright, so does that even kill the GCs? That did not kill the GCs. Okay. So now it gets interesting here. We got 2 GCs and a Fat Boy here for Mimics, as well as a ton of Percivals, which you should probably push all the Percivals in, Stux. There's a chicken nearby. Blissful looks like he just went for the teleport. Does not look like he was successful. He didn't even go for the YOLO. He was way outside of the YOLO range. I'm not quite sure what he was trying to get after there. Maybe it was Jiraj's comm, but Jiraj's comm has advanced nano repair on it, so it's not going to do very much. Okay. Point defense versus GCs. There's only 1 shield left. A lot of point defense going down here. And the YOLO is gonna get saved by the shield. Another shield pops on. First GC goes down. Spiky tried to overcharge and shoot for all he's worth here. Alright, last shield. The last shield is starting to buckle, but the GC goes down just in time. Stux now sends his Percivals in. We do still have a Fat Boy. The Fat Boy could set up long-range bombardment here. Just a ton of point defense here. All these Percivals are just going to get picked off by the PD. And it looks like the Fat Boy is actually going to be running. Although Spiky, I don't think really exists any longer in this game. It's Jiraj versus Mimics and Stux. But you got to go advantage Jiraj here as he's got the YOLO. Mimics now starting to print SMDs like they're going out of style. Stux has got a few of his own here as well. Where's this next YOLO going? Is that going for Stux's base? Looks like it might be. Stux has 3 SMDs. One has 1. And that's about it. So, that YOLO gonna land. Is this Stux's comm? No, it's not Stux's comm. Alright. Stux's base is now history. In a beautiful flower of blue flame and energy. Actually, it's not its entire base. Nope, it's looking like its entire base now. Never mind. Got a couple of P-gens left, but that's about it. Alright, so Stux's comm up in the north. Spiky still bumping around down here with no base and not really anything else. This Fat Boy is actually still here from Mimics. trying to cause a problem, as much of a problem as he can. This next nuke looks like it's going for Mimix's main base. Mimix does have enough SMDs for one volley, is looking like he's assisting one of them as well, so might be able to stave off a second volley in time. Two chickens now walking forward, three chickens actually walking forward there to deal with the fat boy that has burrowed itself in here. That's going to force the fat boy to at least retreat a little bit. There are a ton of Percivals here though. And that should be able to take down one of these chickens really quickly. But then the Percivals are going to have to deal with the Ion Storm. They're also clumping together for the AoE there from the chicken. That was a lot of Percivals that just went down. And now that fat boy needs to start moving. We still got a ton of Percivals coming out here from Stux. But once again, they're all kind of trickling in. They're getting like one shot each off and then getting kind of evaporated. Fat boy does now look like it's in range here for the chicken, and that fat boy gonna go down. Although the second chicken is gonna go down, so it did cost the chicken to be able to kill the fat boy. All right, second volley down. Mimix still creating more SMDs here, starting to assist them a lot more too. It looks like Stux does have a second one up towards the front. But Jiraj's game plan kind of seems to be just don't die and nuke them to death, which I can't really say that I blame him, because we're about to crack 50 minutes into this game. Although Mimix is now starting to amass strats, so we do have Cybran Air HQ that is up once again. So these Revenants are going to have stealth. It's looking like he does have enough SMDs here to stave off the YOLO onslaught. So it took 8 SMDs, I guess, to be able to slow him down, all heavily assisted. As this chicken murdering a bunch of innocent civilians, violating the Geneva Convention. We do have 2 more chickens down here at the bottom as well for Jiraj. Just tons of grilled chicken. And he is starting to slurp up a lot of this mass. What is his mass income at? Almost 1,000. I don't usually trust this because right now it says it's at 2.2 million. I think that might be reclaim numbers. I forgot it rotates through. No, yeah, almost 1,000. That is reclaim numbers. 2.2 million, 950 income. So Mimix and Jiraj actually matching each other almost exactly on the mass income side of things. Next YOLO actually going for this base, it looks like. So not going to be continuing to go for Mimix's main base. This probably will pick up one of these SMDs though. So that'll be good. One less SMD to worry about, as well as a lot of Stux's forward manufacturing, or really his only manufacturing, I think, at this point. He has a couple of factories down here. He's actually building a Fat Boy as well. Now we have 4 chickens down in the south. Getting ready to make a move. Still got lots of Tech 3 units here, though, for Mimix, and a lot of Tech 3 units down there. And Jiraj looking to plow the road a little bit. These SMDs not loaded, so this base is going to go down to the YOLO. And Spiky, I'm kind of curious. What Spiky is going for a Tech 3 mechs, so that's what Spiky's doing back here. So this is pretty much just Jiraj at this point. 2 of the chickens going to peel off to deal with this Tech 3 army. The other remaining 2 going to deal with this other Tech 3 army. As that base now goes down for Mimics. Used to be Snagglefox's base, although I don't think the chickens are going to win either of these fights, though, now that I'm looking at it. So first chicken's about to go down in the northern fight. Although they are, the bricks and the Authams are starting to group up down here. That one nice energy ball, going to be real tasty. Yep, that took out 4 or 5 bricks. Although I still think there's enough firepower here to take down all 4 of these chickens. So that's another cool 300,000 mass or something like that here. Probably not that much. Maybe a little over 100. Siraj has, I believe, almost cleared his lawn of all of the trash that people have been depositing in it. Just hate it when that happens. Another nuke goes off in another one of Mimics' bases. And the strats are now incoming. I had a little bit of a panic attack there as I didn't see the strats at the base. I was like, holy shit, I missed it. But Mimics down here actually distracting the ASF as much as he can. Strats coming in. They are flying over Sam's, but that's a lot of strats. As bombs away, baby. As our Seraphim shields, they can take a pounding. But it is going to make it through all of them. Yes, maybe. And the YOLO goes down. And everybody breathes a sigh of relief, except Siraj, who is now the prime candidate for a strat bombing run. Siraj is going to go down now. Spiky inherits the rest of the base. Mimics wins air. Chicken's banging down the door of his main base. That strat snipe could not have come at a more opportune time. As Mimics and Stux now breathe a sigh of relief. Now that Spiky is in the driver's seat. And to be fair, I don't really think Spiky wanted to play with all these bases because he kept giving bases back to Siraj. We'll see what Spiky wants to do here. Spiky might bow out. It's kind of a shock. Although the YOLOs are actually, they're doing some damage. They're doing some work. They're taking out Mimics' base, his forward base. Bringing him down to a paltry 800 mass per tick income. Where are the comms? Stux's comm is up here. Mimics' comm right here. Mimics' comm gonna take a while to take out. And I don't think either of these YOLOs are gonna be able to, or either of those Ethotas are gonna be able to finish the job. It's just too much air, too many Tech 1 bombers. We have 3 more Ethotas down here tangling with some Tech 3. This Mimics is like, bro, how many chickens is that? And we've got 3 more back here for Spiky and another one up here. There's tons of chicken. Tons of chicken. Everybody gets chicken. So Spiky needs to sort out the air game. And needs to not lose all of his experimentals. He's got 6 chickens here, which is a lot. They can do a lot of damage. There's really only a Fat Boy here as far as land goes, but we do have a lot of Tech 1 bombers, a couple of Tech 2 fighter bombers in the mix here for Mimics, and some good Tech 3 land spam also coming out of the west. Spiky gonna do his best on the air game. As the first chicken gets almost deleted by the Tech 1 bombers and the Fat Boy attrition that it's been taking. He does have a couple of bricks as well in tow. I don't think that Fat Boy is going to complete. That's the first chicken down. Second chicken very close to follow, losing a lot of HP from these Tech 1 bombers. Just getting absolutely pelted with bombs. He's got 2 chickens left. 3 chickens left. 1 chicken seems to have broken through, leading the way. Made it past a lot of the Tech 1 bombers. It looks like there were actually enough chickens in this mix for their flak to kind of do something against the Tech 1 bombers. Which usually experimental anti-air, the land-based experimentals anti-air isn't that good, but I guess if you got 6 of them in one spot, it'll do enough damage. And now it looks like the only thing that is in between these 2 chickens and Mimix' comm up here is actually a shitload of strats. How does he make... How did he make so many strats? Okay, that's how. He's making them in like 5 seconds apiece. But either way, these chickens gonna absolutely tear apart the Tech 1 artillery that's coming their way. Start to get into some of that production. But I think there's enough strats here. And, you know, Mimix might just go for the baller move and just go for another strat snipe. Spiky's air is distracted over here on the other side of the map, and he doesn't have enough air to even win an air engagement right now, I don't think. Mimix is going to take the fight, though. Spiky's ASF a little bit spread out, as the strat's now rounding the corner. Looks like we're down to 1 chicken left. So it did make it through, I think, the gauntlet of Tech 1 factories. As the strat's around the corner down the southern side of the map. Spiky's ASF very preoccupied with a fight of their own in the air. And Spiky's comm does have shield at least. I think that's heavy shield too. But the strats are inbound. They are going to have to fly over a good amount of Tech 3 stationary AA. So he's going to lose at least a couple of them. But that should be enough to one past this, I think. Maybe? No. Okay. Made it through his shield. Now Spiky's going to be able to clean this up. Right? Well, he's got another shield up anyway, so it's fine. Only 2 bombs only 2 bombs away. And now Spiky has literally got chickens all over the place. Okay, so he's got 2 more chickens there. Mimic's actually going to bow out there. I guess that was his last-ditch effort. And I would imagine Stux is soon behind. We'll see if Stux plays it out. He actually, it looks like Stux is actually going to play it out here. He's got a bunch more strats. Although Spiky is now now knows what's going on. He now knows what's up. He's got his air. He's headed north. He was headed north. Actually, it looks like he's just spreading them out as much as possible. I don't know how you do the opposite of a Shift G, but that would be pretty cool. But yeah, Stuck's going to lose all the bases that he had left because there are a ton of chickens all over the map. The strats are going to make one last-ditch attempt, although I think there's only like 7 or 8 of them left. And they've got to still make it through a good amount of SAMs and Tech 3 AA. Spiky's comm has now got half his shield up. He's now sitting under Seraphim shields, one of which is a heavy shield generator. There's no way these bombers make it through. And there we go. All right, let's see what Stux's next move is. He's got some Tech 1 factories. He's got some Tech 3 air that he can't use, I don't think. His comm is actually currently getting Nopa'd. So I think that's it for Stux. And that is it for this game at 1 hour and 1 minute and 20 seconds. Very well played. I really thought the Team 1 had a pretty good shot there whenever, because they were doing a pretty good job of controlling the map. They had killed the YOLO, but just the amount of chickens that came out was absolutely insane. It was a whole bucket of KFC there. So very well played by all the players. And I think this was a good cast to come back to. So for those of you who care, the reason I took a break, I started a new job and just needed to focus on that. I was also, I think I was focusing a little bit too much on the YouTube stuff. So I'm probably only going to be doing 1 video a week, maybe a little bit more. We'll see what happens. But really, I had 2 goals whenever I set out to do the channel. The first one was I wanted to make the game a little bit more accessible for newer players. And hopefully I've accomplished that. Hopefully, people have found my tutorials useful. The other thing that I wanted to do is just honestly, I wanted to prove that I could do it. I wanted to prove that I could, start from nowhere with something that I was passionate about and build, something of a significant following. And, I don't think that 3,000 subscribers is anywhere near significant following, but it's a hell of a lot further than I thought I was going to get. And I felt like I had accomplished that goal. And with, the new job and everything, I just needed to take a pause, needed to take a break from YouTube. So I'm back now though. Hope you all enjoyed the first cast of me coming back, I guess. So thank you all so much for watching if you made it this far, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.